Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and today we will study low level system design of chess game. So first of all, whenever you are asked any question in the interview to design, first of all you have to ask and clarify all the requirements from the interviewer and list it down, because there should not be any confusion later. Let's write down the requirements what are be needed when we will design our chess. That is what all should be there in the system when we design it. So here I have listed down all the requirements which our system should have. I'll explain one by one. The first one is our design should support 2 online players. The second one is international chess rules should be followed, and the third one is player will play move after one another. Once one player will move, then only other player will move, and after that player finishes up, then again first player will make a move. Players cannot cancel or roll back the move once they have done. The fifth one is every side will start with 8 pawns, 2 bishops, 2 knights, 2 rooks, 1 queen and 1 king. The sixth requirement is we have to have all the logs for moves which player 1 and player 2 have played. And the last one is how the game will finish. The game will finish when either there will be a checkmate, or there will be a stalemate, or if a player resigns, or if timeout of other player happened, then in that case first player will win. So if you don't know what stalemate and all is, please go and read the concepts of that. Now we'll move further and design what all use cases are there, and what actors and all will be there in our system. So here you can see that there are some important use cases which I have written, and first of all, to draw the use case diagram we have to identify what all actors will be there, or you can say what all users of the system will be. So in our chess game there will be 2 major main actors. First one is player, obviously the person who will play the game, and the second one is administrator. Admin will have their own role, like managing the whole system and everything. The next thing is important use cases. I have written the top 4 use cases, but there are many which we can cover in the use case diagram when I will prepare. The first one is sign up. The player signs up for the for registration in your website or in your app, whatever you are making. The second one is play like moving a piece from one place to another. The third one is resign, if a player resigns, and fourth one is if a player cancels or cancel their account or their membership. So now we will see that what is the use case diagram for this and how we'll prepare it. So here you can see that I have drawn a use case diagram for our system. I'll explain it. First one, we have identified the actor which is admin. He can perform add user, he can also perform modify user, he can also block the user in case if a user is forfeiting a game or doing any kind of cheating or anything. If people report against it, then he can block that particular user. The second actor was our player. The player can create account, player can cancel the account, player can update his or her account, player can create a game, player can join the game, and can obviously see their previous games history as well, and also they can make a move. But here if we see that whatever this use cases player performs, they can basically be performed by admin also. So even admin can see the previous games history, and he can see for all the players. Maybe this player can only see whatever games he has played, but admin has all the rights to see all the games history. If you are designing such kind of game, like in case if a user reports that the other person or other player has done some kind of cheating or something, then admin can verify by looking at the game logs or anything. And even admin can sign in. Here one more use case can be added, log in, log out. So both admin also can do this, even your player will also do this. So this is pretty much the use case diagram in nutshell for our chess system. Now we will study that how we will create a class diagram and how we will define and create the classes for our system. So let's discuss that how we will define classes for our system. So whenever you are given a system to design, few people will always think from top like, okay, there should be a game controller and that will control a game, or there will be a player and all those. So which is correct, that game controller will be there, player will be there, but how you'll reach smoothly onto all the classes to avoid like there will be a confusion or something. So my experience and my tip is like, you should start with basic, that find the smallest entity or the smallest class which can be created inside our system. So for example, here if you will see, here there is a chessboard, obviously there will be a class which will be a board. So we can write board, there is nothing, right? Board class will be there. But how this board is created, there is one more small entity. The second one is like, if you observe this particular board, this has 64 boxes. So here the smallest entity I found is box. So you can write here like box. And what box will have? Box, if you will see that there are 64 boxes, every box will have its position. So if you're writing a class like that, okay, class box, so first of all it will have a position x, and then it will have a position y, and the most important thing is the box will contain a piece. So for example, this x, if you consider here 0 0, it is consisting rook here. So we can now define piece here. Now you can see that if we'll write piece here, piece will be of type piece. So you have to define now one more class which will be piece. And similarly, let me write down what all the classes will be there and we'll explain. So now let's see that what are the basic classes which are there, which all will be there in our system. The first one, as I explained right now, is box. Box will be made, the first one will be box, and it will be created by x position, by y position, and whatever piece on it. The second one is board. Board will obviously consist of boxes. That how many boxes are there? So it will have a 2D matrix of box. The third one is piece. Piece you already know, there will be a parent piece class, and then there will be a child classes which exact piece is there, like rook, knight, bishop, queen, king, and pawn. They'll inherit the properties of piece, and they'll have some, like piece can have a abstract method, like is what if you are moving this piece, then this piece will move different, this piece will move different, this piece will move differently. So it will have abstract kind of method which they will implement. This we will write the definition of that. They will override basically that particular method. The fourth one is move. That making a move will also be a class. The fourth one is move. The fifth one is game controller, and then there is a view, which is basically a game view. Now we will design a class diagram, and we will see that what all attributes are there and how these classes are related to each other. Now guys, I have created this class diagram for our chess system. Let's have a quick look onto this. Pause the video and see what all classes are there, and they are related also, and let's discuss. So first, as I told you, there is a class box which will have the position, and this will also contain the piece. So a kind of piece is there is a composition between piece and box. So I have explained in the previous video like what is the composition, as in the piece cannot exist on its own, it has to be in the box, box class. So there is a piece will have a property whether it is killed or not, that will be a boolean type, and it can be accessed by a method is killed. Also there will be a method which will check that whether the piece can move or not. For example, if rook, let's suppose you are putting and you are trying to place a rook diagonally, so it will obviously say it cannot move. So you have to all have those kind of checks in that. Now this can move will be implemented in every piece individually, like rook will have its own implementation, knight will have its own implementation, how the knight will work, and similarly the queen, the king, it's like every piece will implement that particular method. Now there will be a board class obviously, and even board, so here I missed one thing, the board and box will have a kind of composition relationship. So the box cannot exist on its own, it has to be inside board only. Or you can also say that board cannot be completed without box, so box will be inside board. Now board will have that when the board is created, and initialize board will be a method when the player will restart the game, then it will initialize the board according to the rules that how the pieces are placed in initially. Similarly there will be a move class. So move class will have like what is the start box, what is the end box, is piece killed on that particular move, which player has made the move. So player will have player kind, and there is a special kind of move called castling. So you have to have a property that is that particular move is a castling, because that is important, because every player can do the castling only once, and that too if they have not moved the rook and the king they are castling with. So then there will be a method which will set that okay, castling has happened. The next is game class. So again board and game is in composition, it is denoted by like this. So board will be there in game, when the game will start only then board will be present and board will initialize. Game will have its properties like current turn, whose current turn is this, like which player is going to move, the status of the game. So here I will write all these enums like game status and all. So status like game status. So game status can be like whether the game is active, whether the game is won by some player, or it's ended. There will be or like the player resigned. Everything will be coming into this. Is over will be method that will return when the game will be over. There will be a class called player. Player will have person will obviously have name, its age or address, whatever you want. The third one is the other one is total games, how many total games have been played by the player. And the third thing is like white side, is the player white side or is the player on back side. So basically white side false means black and white side true means white side. There is a class which is called account here, and account will have ID, password, and both player and admin will extend. So I will just draw a arrow, sorry, this will be a dotted arrow basically. So it will also extend this account. Then there will be two more classes, which is game controller and game view. So basically what will happen, the game will update the game view as the game moves on, the game view will be updated. Let's suppose user made a move, then according to that game view will be updated. There will be a class called game controller which will control the game, and it will have a method like is valid move. What will it check? Let's suppose the turn is of white side and black tries to move, then the game controller will control it and it will check that is it a valid move, like is it your really a turn. Then if not, then it will return false, and player black will not be able to move if the turn is of white. So this is like that. So this is the complete view of a class diagram here. So that's it guys. Let me know that what are your views on this particular video, whether you liked it, is it informative enough, and if what things are missing, you can come in, you can write in comments, and I will try to address in further videos. You can also comment that what all topics you want me to cover, then I'll make videos onto that.